Hello, Purple Acorn listeners, viewers out there, wherever you're joining from. My name is Jada. We are back live here from RecFest. We are doing some live interviews from the table today with Jada Montemarano, and I am joined here with Jenny, JCK, JKC, which one?
JCK. So Jenny or Jenny Cotie Kangas, and the initials for that are JCK. So a lot of people in the space call me JCK.
A lot of nicknames. I was asking ahead of time. I'm like, which one are we working with today?
Absolutely, and here we are. I love this.
So while you're here, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do for all the people watching.
Absolutely. So my name is JCK. I am the VP of Innovation at GBS Worldwide. GBS is a talent attraction agency. So employer branding, IO psychology, technology. My focus is HR technology optimization and stabilization, or the acquisition of new technology.
Ooh, and that's what this is all is about here today, right?
I'm the, when you go to buy it, and when something goes wrong, a lot of people call me because they're like, "This isn't working," and I'm like, "We got you. We got you. We got this. So just one step at a time."
Well, we were talking before we were officially live today about why Jenny has been coming to RecFest for so long. So that's one of the reasons. And also, you said it's one of your favorites. So explain, why do you keep coming back to RecFest? Why do you love it so much?
So I think in our space, there's a lot of different conferences, right? But this is one that's a little different in nature. So the talks themselves are a little bit more TED Talk-esque. And you get people who are at the top of their craft that are doing really incredible, awesome things. Now, as I'm a former talent acquisition and recruiting leader, if you're striving to be on the forward edge of innovation, or you're striving towards transformation, one of the best ways to be able to understand that how is to learn from those of you those have done it before. And RecFest does a really good job of collecting the dots of those leaders and then empowering them to be able to tell their stories. And so that's what I absolutely love about it. There's also something to be said. You do not see, if you look behind us here, you don't see a lot of laptops that are out.
No one's on their technology today.
That's different from a lot of the other conferences.
Interesting.
And so by design, it's my hypothesis that people have a little bit more separation from work, and allows them to be able to actually take advantage of the things that are the purpose of coming here, which is building community, being able to learn, having a growth mindset, right? And so those are a couple of the reasons I love it. I'm excited to be co-hosting the Inspire stage tomorrow, which will be awesome. My incredible partner, Julia Levy. Please go pick out her book. Right, it's right here. She's actually at the Shaker booth right now signing. I was like, I gotta go to the Shaker booth. So, but yes. Yeah.
And I was going to say, for anybody watching, we may look a little hot and sweaty right now, but there's so many fun things going on. There's games, activations, ice cream, coffee, hats.
I'm going to take off my glasses because they're going to start melting up because it's very, very warm here. It's very warm here, but you're right. There's a lot of really cool activations going on, some really fun booths. It's just been a great time. And so I think another difference with how RecFest is, the vendors are very intentional with their activations or how they involve other people in the space. And they do things that are a little bit more outside the box. So you've got people that are like putting your name on a bandana.
I love that. I got one.
Make your own hat. And so it's super, super fun. I got a capybara at an event last night. It was so fun. It was a Talent Collective event, which plug for Talent Collective. If you are a TA leader who's a female in the space, absolutely check out the Talent Collective. It is an awesome way to be able to network and grow your craft and meet mentors and mentees and things like that. But they had an awesome event, and it was Pinpoint and Juicebox who were sponsoring. And Juicebox had these capybara stuffed animals that had strawberry hats on them, and they were so cute and so soft. But then Pinpoint had one of the smartest swags I've ever seen. They had Lush Cosmetics.
Oh my gosh, fancy. And I thought my little fan I got today
so here in Nashville, there's not a lot of hotels. So a lot of us are in Airbnbs, and it's a little different because you don't have your shampoos, your conditioners, your soaps. And so this morning I was getting ready and I was like, I freaking love.
And Lush is great.
We're
not sponsored.
We're not
Lush
sponsored,
is great.
But they are a customer of Pinpoints.
Yes.
And I was like, I love this brand because now I have smooth skin. I've got the lotions, and you can eat it all, which is kind of crazy.
I needed to be at that event yesterday. Where was I? I was on a plane.
Well, next time you're gonna have to come to the Talent Collective event, but yeah.
So from your space of always looking for the new technology for finding out what is best for your team, What have you learned so far? Is there anything that's jumping out at you that you've been seeing? I know like every booth is AI this year. I don't know if it's been like that every other year in the past. So what have you been seeing this week?
Yeah, so
today?
actually Eric, who's standing behind the cameras, we were at a dinner last night with Scalus, which is one of the newer vendors in the space, and got to meet Brandon, who's their founder, and had a lovely dinner with them, which I wasn't sold to at all. It was just an awesome community dinner, but like being able to learn more about their technology, I was really impressed by it. So really cool, kind of redefining how we do AI, sourcing, screening, all that jazz. But I think one of the things that I've learned about technology in this space is it's really, really important to ask the right sharp questions.
Yeah.
To be able to understand not the what or the why for a technology, but you really want to be able to understand the how. So that how question is absolutely imperative. And not only that, but that how question goes a little bit deeper, and it's how do you support companies that are as big as me or have this type of complexity as me? Like when I used to lead talent acquisition, I had 60 brands that I represented, which is a hot mess.
Yeah.
But most of the technologies that are out here are only made for one or two brands. And as they take on multiple brands, they actually break an infrastructure.
Yeah.
And so like those how questions are sharp and they're really important because you need to understand how this is going to work for you. So I think that's one of the things that I've learned.
Yeah, a few people I've interviewed recently have said that your company can get this technology that they think is going to be great and helpful, but if their workers don't know how to use it or it's actually not helping their workflow, they're like, this was a waste of our money and time. So yeah, ask the how question up front, right?
Ask the how question up front. And also to that point too, this isn't a project that we're just going to check a box and go. Like you have to sell change internally in your organization. And so like you have to explain that why behind the what. Here's what's in it for you. Like speak to that with them. And you've got to make sure that when you're doing that, you're handling things with the brochure instead of the blueprint, because blueprints don't sell.
No.
Right? And so that's one of the things where we tend to go wrong when we're rolling out new technologies or new experiences or new things like that. It's like really lean on those blueprints. And so it's important to sell your strategies, your ideas, to storytell with data, to talk about the ROI, like all those different fun things. But I roll my eyes, but actually those are like the critical things, guys, like really to be able to get that stuff right. So
when you come to an event like this, are you thinking about what your teams need before you come, or are you learning about new technologies and then seeing if it can be implemented?
Yes.
To both?
The answer is yes. So a lot of the times when I'm at these events, I actually use it as user experience research.
Okay.
So being able to understand what problems are keeping people up at night, how are they talking about the technology? Because like I said before, you've got to be able to sell change. And if you can't understand what's top of mind and what's relevant for people, when I go to reverse engineer something that's going to help for somebody, like it's not going to stick because it might not be in the right language or it might not be in the right messaging or what have you. So I do a lot of listening and kind of problem understanding here. But then also when you're at an event, like you can get maybe a little tiny sliver of what the technology is, but it's always best to like book like a full briefing afterwards or a full demo afterwards. And so I come in with an idea of who I want to talk to, but then it's almost just letting the conversation ebb and flow and seeing like who's interesting. Actually, Matt Charney was just here and he's like, who's interesting to you? I was like, go check these guys out. He's like, who else? I was like, there's nobody else that I've been interested by that's different from like what we've seen before. But like that's an important thing too, is being able to, because trust is transitive, right? So being able to find the people who really understand this stuff and then being able to ask them, okay, what would you do if you were in my situation? I think is an important thing too.
And speaking about that with trust, I know there's a lot of talk of AI these days, of people not being happy with it, the general public, the different ways you can use it in the arts. Obviously, everybody hates it that way. But in the HR space, the talent space, the recruiting space, it's everywhere, right? Every booth here now is AI. We talk about this in every interview I use, and I love to get different people's perspectives. So I'm assuming that you are all for the new technologies that are helpful. And can you explain to those out there who may be nervous or anti what the benefits are, or how it's not a negative, at least in this space? In other spaces, we can leave that to, to other people.
Absolutely. So I like to start with, I have a slightly different lens on this topic, because one thing about me that you might not know is I actually fell and hit my head in 2020 and I lost all of my memory.
Oh my God.
So who I was, how the world worked, who my kids were, how we solved problems in recruiting, I lost all of it and I didn't actually get it back. And so I was blessed with that because I lost my design bias for how we solve problems in our world. And without the rigidness of how we had solved problems before, it allowed me, when I came across things that were new, to really seek to understand and ask, like, okay, how would I go about this, right? But when it came to AI, one of the blessings was I hadn't been socially conditioned that AI was something to fear, or it was something that could take my job. So when I came across it, I was like, okay, how could this help me, right? Like I use it as a co-pilot in like all areas of life.
Yeah.
And the thing that a lot of people forget about is they're like, oh, you know, the AI is going to make decisions, what have you, whatever. The thing you got to remember is the most impenetrable original black box is the human brain. And so when I can make a decision, that's one way when I have a coffee, and another way when I have. Like, we've got a problem because we want consistency that is happening in these decisions, right? And so AI, when done right, can allow us white box AI, which is allowing us to see systematically how our decisions being made. Right? And so I think it's an important thing to just kind of remember and challenge ourselves. It's not necessarily about, you know, giving this to the AI and letting it all do it for us. It's like, where can we leverage AI in the right places to be able to solve some of those problems and maybe help in ways that, like, we were actually opened up to more bias before.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I know it's a nerve-wracking term these days for everyone out there. And on that note, I love to always end my show opening it up to the broader audience of the job seeker, right? We're streaming on LinkedIn right now. Someone watching is definitely looking for a job out there. So I like to ask all my guests, from your experience, what you've seen, what you've been working on, what is one key tip to give someone who's looking for a job right now?
If you are looking for a job, you need to remember that LinkedIn is not a blueprint for your career, but it's a brochure for why somebody should connect with you or why somebody should consider you for your next right thing. And so it's really important, and there's a lot, you can use generative AI now to be able to help you do this, right? But you want to take a look at the different roles that you've been in and really think through, like, what was in it for somebody else? Like, what's that with them? And really build it out as the brochure and be very specific in your about me. Who are you? What do you do? What problems do you solve? What are you looking for? You want to, as Craig Fisher would say, you want to paint your store so that you're attracting the right people. And so he's standing right there. And so this is actually his book too, so I'd highly recommend it.
We're shouting out everyone's books today.
We're shouting out all the books. But I think the best lesson I would say is making sure that you're building your LinkedIn as the brochure for who you want to get to know or who you want to reach out to or what you want to do, and not the blueprint for your career.
And quickly, with LinkedIn, are you recommending to just try to connect with as many people as possible? Are you hoping people are connecting with you? Like, how are you getting those leads once your page is perfect? Or it's just do it all?
How am I getting leads? I think so. LinkedIn is like 70% engaging with people on their posts.
Okay.
30% the content you're building.
Okay.
Right? That's somebody always told me the 70-30 rule. It could have been Craig. Probably was Craig, let's be honest. But be intentional. Ask for help. Too is like, if you know somebody, be intentional, ask for help, explain, here's what I am doing. Would you be open to an informational interview? Always close your informational interviews. Would you be willing to connect me with 2 other people within the space as I'm going through this? And like, you know, and track it too. Like, looking for a job is a full-time job.
Oh my gosh.
And so when you can run it like a program manager of here are the outreaches I've made, here are the applications I've made, here are the things I'm interested in. What worked, what didn't, what do I change? Because you also want to sharpen kind of your bullseye of what you're looking for as well. And surround yourself with people who are also going through this at the same time, because it's also really, really alienating and it can be really hard. And so those are a couple of tips and tricks that I would recommend.
I love that. Thank you so much. And that's what was really serendipitous about starting this podcast. It started about a year ago. It's right around the time of this whole job market collapse and everything. So I'm like, at least we can make people not feel alone out there, talk about these things, give tips and advice. So thank you so much, Jenny, for sitting with us today. We'll get you out of the heat. And thank you all for the Purple Acorn family watching us out there on the live stream. We will be back in just a few seconds with another interview. Stick around.
Until next time, thanks.